Right. I know I said I was gone for my birthday and all that, but this couldn't wait. I'm so excited. This couldn't wait. Morning all. Welcome to the court of the Edijester. We've got an article here from Patrick Strudwick in the inews.co.uk, which I understand is Apple's newspaper of choice, right? Called "Our biggest LGBT charity is in crisis. Are we just going to let it collapse?" Yes. We are, and I'm going to enjoy its demise, Mr. Strudwick. I am, right? Our biggest LGBT charity is in crisis. Are we just going to let it collapse? LGBT people need armour. An organisation like Stonewall to act as a first line of defence. Jesus, the first line is a lie. Stonewall have been attacking with ferocity for years anything that doesn't fit in with its letter that's missing from this, Mr. Stroppy Prick, right? Which is the Q. You successfully left that off at the beginning of your diatribe here. LGBT people need armour. Get bent. Blood is in the water. Every expedient politician and pundit can see it and smell it and sense an opportunity after the Supreme Court ruling, which effectively removed trans women from the definition of women in the Equality Act. No. It effectively reiterated what the law said all along. So the lies don't just start, it isn't just one. I'm only about 4 lines down. And Professor Stroppy Flick here he's not happy. I just can't, right? He's not happy. All it did was actually clarify the law. Didn't you watch Queer Harmer saying, clarity, one of those dolls, with a string, right? Oh, it removed trans women from the definition of women in the Equality Act. It didn't. It's the lies. I mean, they just can't help themselves. I'm not even one paragraph in, and the lies are multitude. Oh, dear. Absolute rubbish. What else we got here? The new British sport is who can make the most rabble-rousing dog whistle jab at trans women. Men! You unbelievable fart! The answer was surprising. Bridget Phillipson, who identifies as the Women's Equality Minister, evidently believes that some people are more equal than others. What are you talking about? They're men! When asked whether trans women should use men's toilets, she replied that access to such service should be based on biology. In other words, yes. See, now this is where Phillipson and Starmer and Phillipson and all their toadies are going to fall over, right? Because they were obfuscating, sitting on the fence and pretending they didn't know what was going on. They're now going to get attacked from all corners. It's absolutely glorious. And because they're sat on the fence, they're higher than everybody else. We can all see them. It's just shite. It's just incredible. I'd be fascinated to know where she therefore thinks trans men should use, whether she therefore thinks trans men should use women's toilets. Because it's just them women. He shouldn't be writing articles. He should be arrested and incarcerated, stuck in a in a padded room in a nice jacket. I asked the government that question. Their answer redefined clarity. We have always supported the protection of a single-sex basis based on... Oh, it's gone and moved. Sorry. We have always supported the protection of a single-sex space based on biological sex. No, they haven't. They have. This entire article is a lie. This sums everything up. It really does. Oh, God. We have always supported the protection of single-sex spaces based on biological sex. This ruling brings clarity and confidence. For women and service providers such as hospitals, refuges and sports clubs. I asked them to clarify. They have not responded. There's all these people going around trying to clarify everything. Can you clarify? Have you clarified? Have you clarified today? Will you clarify tomorrow? Yes, unbelievable. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my stars and garters. Okay. The whole situation is spiraling. It's not It's not. It's just been brought to a standstill. Now you're spiralling because you're still spinning in circles, talking cobblers about men. The Tories jumped on the judgment as an opportunity to kick Labour. At Prime Minister's questions, Leader of the Opposition, Kemi Badenoch, asks Keir Starmer, does the Prime Minister now accept that when he said that it was the law that trans women were women, he was wrong? Yes, right, and the Equality and Human Rights Commission has been tasked with drafting guidance on how to interpret the judgment, but its chair, Kishore Faulkner, has already said that the ruling means that only those born as women would be able to access women's bathrooms, changing rooms and hospital wards. So we know how this will go. Yes! In the direction of safeguarding reality and an end to the lunacy of the likes of Stonewall, whose demise, Patrick Shield work, what's his name? Patrick thinks it's a bad thing. It's Patrick, when Stonewall falls, we're all going to Wetherspoons, mate. I can't. Oh my! I'm so sorry. I just can't get it together. It's such a good birthday present. Oh, this is a human rights grab. In line with Donald Trump's policy, this man is every single crazy leftist neoliberal trope in the book. Is he real? Or is he actually just an AI avatar? This is a human rights grab. Isn't a human right to pretend you're something you're not, mate? It's not a human right to be expected to walk around as a sex fraud. It's not a human right to tell children they're born in the wrong body. It's not a human right to exclude women from spaces that actively belong to them by allowing men in spaces because they put on a bit of lippy and a bloody wig. And it is not a human rights grab to prevent the homophobic conversion therapy that is trans the gay away. And it's got sod all to do with Orange Man Bad. This is it's a reminder, says Patrick, if you need one, of a cold fact of history. All rights can be ripped away. Nobody's... They've got the same rights as the rest of us. Nobody's removed their rights, right? They're just not getting any special rights. They're not becoming a priestly class. So what now? Who will defend the safety and dignity of transgender people? Yeah, don't care. Protests against the judgment of the weekend served as a reminder of another context in which this is taking place. Stonewall, Britain's largest LGBT organisation, is in crisis. It's plummeting financially, with rounds of redundancies as funding cuts hit, and its credibility and influence is plunging amid the national and global backlash against LGBT rights. Listen up, Patrick Stewed. I don't know. Right, listen, matey boy, okay? It's got nothing to do with gays and lesbians. That's the reason it's falling. It's got nothing to do with same-sex attraction. That's the reason it will fall. It's falling because the LGBT, whether they add the Q, the I, the A, the hands, knees, and bumps and daisy, and everything else that comes with this fetid cult, is the reason it's falling, okay? That's the reason it's falling. It's because it is a hard left, neoliberal, identitarian, intersectionality, power and oppression bullshit group. This matters, says Patrick. If someone asked you to name the first LGBT organisation that comes to mind, I would bet my cat you'd say Stonewall. No, I wouldn't. I'd say the Campaign for Homosexual Equality, which actually was the first. Oh. Since it was founded more than 35 years ago, the charity has become entwined in our country's psyche. Yeah, you bet. That's going to change, isn't it, Patrick? Parliament, schools, sporting and business sectors. But how much longer? Hopefully 8 minutes. Just get it gone. However you feel about Stonewall, we need a conversation about the state of the biggest charity defending LGBT people. They're not defending gays and lesbians and bisexuals, are they? If they're pushing homophobia and child harm. Are these people, where do they keep them? They're in a cupboard. It's like, right, who do we drag out next because things are getting worse? Get Strawberry sick, whatever his name is, Shield Head. Anyway, where is he? Cupboard 4. Right, okay, well, that only leaves us 3. Yeah, but we'll use Patrick first. Who's next after that? Oh, well, then we'll get out Tatchell. Who comes after Tatchell? Well, then they can get out Butler. Oh, God, then we're in real trouble. Who comes after Butler? Then we'll bring out the big guns. Who's that? Sally Hines from Sheffield University. I can't wait. I just can't wait. Oh. He says we need to ask ourselves a question: as the opponents of all kinds of human rights lie in wait, are we just going to let it die? Yeah, we are. We are just going to let it die, right? It'll die, and then when it's died, we'll come for critical race theory. When that dies, we'll actually get back to some normality before all this absolute unbelievable bullshit, most of it from America, visited our shores. Hey, now he rattles on about violence. Major study of 30 European countries found it rising. Yeah, what a surprise. You come after women, you tell people that having a family isn't normal. You then express your desire to sterilize, mutilate, and destroy the lives of gays and lesbians who you manage to get your hands on young enough. Yeah, I imagine violence has increased. That's the sad bit in it. Meanwhile, the 114 staff at Stonewall could be halved amid falling revenues. Does that mean only their legs will come to work, or they're going to get rid of half the staff? Can you imagine it was the former? Where are they? They're sat in that chair. I can't see them. That's right. It's only their legs. Its funding is evaporating partly due to Trump's cut to foreign aid and payments to diversity, equity, and inclusion organisations. So, in other words, its funding is evaporating because Trump saw that Biden's hard left neoliberal nut jobs in America were funding our hard left neoliberal nut jobs over here. I went, no, thanks. We're not doing that anymore because EDIDI is a cult. We'll stop that now, all right? The US government had provided more than £500,000 to the charity in the previous 3 years through the Global Equality Fund. This all has to stop. In the UK, corporations and public organisations from the BBC to the Cabinet Office to the Royal College of Psychiatrists also pulled out of its workplace equality and diversity champion scheme. Several Stonewall Peak projects have been scaled back over recent years, and the major research that others provided groundbreaking insights into the plight of LGBTQ people has been stopped. In parallel, the gap between Stonewall and the government, which widened when Boris Johnson became Prime Minister as he yanked his party to the right. Boris Johnson yanked his party to the right. They are literally nuts, right? They're just nuts. And then began his rhetorical assault on trans people, has never properly recovered. This affects its ability to effectively lobby politicians. So 1 minute he's talking about LGBT, and now he's talking about trans, right? It's a parasite, and when it get the parasite gone, right? And Stonewall, not savable. We're going to watch it fall. It's going to be like what was that? Was it Doctor Who episode? Where they all rattled on about something? Was it the 20th, 50th, 500th anniversary or whatever it was? It was Gallifrey Falls. That's what we're going to call it. Stonewall Falls, in which Doctor Who turns up in a dress, crying, kissing blokes, and then pretending he's got somebody with him who's a bloke pretending to be a woman. And he walks into a planet which has got zero gravity and gets squashed and dies. That's going to be it. That's the Doctor Who episode. It's called Stonewall Falls. It'll last 30 seconds. Get rid of it all. So, this affects its ability to effectively lobby politicians. Good. To highlight one recent example of Stonewall's seemingly waning influence, I asked the government several times whether recently it has consulted with Stonewall over a proposed ban on conversion therapy since taking office. Here we go. See? A spokesperson from the Cabinet Office declined to confirm whether it was even had any meetings with the charity about it, instead offering vaguely, we will engage further with a broad range of stakeholders. I asked Stonewall 3 times, but they did not provide a response. It's just brilliant. Right. So they're getting hoisted by their own petard, right? They live and die on the ridiculous, stupid idea of stakeholders. Stakeholders. Buzz off. Right? So that's what they die on. They'll die on that hill. They'll die on that hill. Perhaps both sides are being coy or don't want the public to know that they've met. But either way, this is bizarre as it is concerning. Stonewall was once the charity that lobbied every MP in the country to help pass the same-sex marriage law in 2013. You're right, Patrick. Right? But that's when it should have stopped. That's when it should have shut. But it didn't, you see, Patrick. Now it's unclear whether they've even had a meeting with the new government over the psychological torture of LGBT people. Again, he's gone back to LGBT, but rather than talking just about trans, because he needs to have the LGB in order to make the idea that trans are being converted. Trans is the conversion therapy, you unbelievable nitwit. I don't say any of this lightly. No, and you obviously haven't looked into it very heavily. I've worked journalistically with Stonewall for over 15 years. That will explain it. You're completely infected. In that time, I've liaised with successive CEOs, been given an award by the charity in 2020. So in other words, you did something they liked and they tickled your perineum. Oh, get in the bin. And seen firsthand the impact it's had on Parliament and on individuals and communities across the country, have you? Have you seen the damage they've done, Patrick? Or are you walking around with your blinkers on going, all is well here? Swine. But whatever has been reported in the last few months, the recent conversations I've had with people involved in the charity, past and present, have alarmed me further. In recent weeks, they said Stonewall's founders were so worried that they met to discuss the situation, determined to save it. What for? Why? Why are you determined to save something? It's just a rotting corpse lying on the side of the road, right? Even if the Good Samaritan came along, there's nothing he can do. Nothing, no whatsoever. Not unless he's Jesus and it's Easter. He can, all right, have a get. Come on. Yeah. Come on, lazy ass. Not lazy ass. What was his name? Lazarus. Not unless you're doing that. No. Right? Not since, here comes the next one. Not since 1999, when Stonewall was founded in response to Section 28 legislation that gagged teachers from discussing gay people as the charity looks so vulnerable. They can't help but bring in Section 28. It's so overblown, it's unreal. Criticism from the media has never been far away, but in the last decade, since the charity embraced transgender people, the thinly veiled homophobia that lingered across the coverage has morphed into outright anti-trans attack. That's because trans is homophobia. That's why people have attacked it. Trans is homophobia incarnate. The presence of a trans individual pretending to be the opposite sex that they are is a homophobic signifier. I won't have them anywhere near me. You pretending to be something you are not, i.e. you're a woman or a man pretending to be the opposite sex when you're not, are a homophobic signifier. The fact that you are in the room does two things. First off, if it's a bloke, generally it's because he's practicing his fetish in front of you. And the second thing is the very fact that you stand there means that you stand for homophobia. And that, as far as I'm concerned, creates a hostile environment. End of story. The whole damn thing ends. Should it die? Many will dance on Stonewall's grave. It's going to have to be a bloody big grave. But then many would happily see the rights of LGBT people revoked too. No. See, there you go. I'm not seeing that. I think same-sex attracted people are okay. I really do. He then says, this is interesting, if you think it should return to only representing lesbian, bisexual, gay people, then you're ignoring not only the plight of trans people, but also how intertwined all these rights are and how many governments incarcerate people for laws that oppress every letter in the acronym or pass laws like the Equality Act that protect everyone until that is chipped away. There you go. There's your intersectionality. I hate these people. You're forgetting, too, that gay people could also be trans and vice versa. No, you can't. No, you can't. You're disregarding history. Gender nonconformity has always been... Oh, right, so now it's just gender nonconformity. Right, okay. Because I remember all those gender nonconforming people in the 70s and 80s who said, we are women even though we're actually men. We were born by... Take away the word parent. Take away the word mother. Replace it with birthing parent. This is a vile article. From 18th century model houses to the 1980s ballroom scene. Yeah, right, okay. And you're blind to the future. The global trends against trans people, particularly in the US, are affecting gay people too. No, they're not. Drag queens and trans people alike are groomers. Well, that'll teach the drag queens to jump on the bandwagon and start sitting in front of children telling them that grandma was the bad guy and the wolf was the good guy. That will teach them, as they say, to keep their sticky fingers out of stuff they don't understand. And in Qatar, as I reported last year, gay men are now deported for wearing tinted moisturisers. In most of the Arab world, you stupid man, they'll kill you for being gay. If, however, you ask, how about a charity that's much more grassroots and doesn't rely on corporate funding, then I sympathise. Right, so you suck the corporate knob, now you sympathise with people who say you shouldn't have. That's like, did you actually sleep with that bloke? I did. Did you fellate that man? I did. I didn't swallow. Right, okay. These people. Get them gone. Right, now further on down, this is the interesting thing. Look at this. Further on down. One of the first acts of the Nazis in 1933 was to burn... You just think this is tiresome now. They are just tiresome liars. Tiresome liars. Really. And then at the bottom it says, to prevent blood in the water from becoming blood in the streets, we can't assume anything. We have to fund ourselves, organise ourselves, and fight for our very existence. Any gay man, any same-sex attracted person who gives a penny to any organisation that supports trans is paying for their own erasure. It's that simple. But nevertheless, I'm going to sit here gloriously, and I am going to say, Patrick Needledick, we do not support this. I'm going to gloat when it goes. I'm not only going to gloat, I'm going to dance on its grave. And then when I finish dancing on its grave, I'm going to write a song about how bad it was, so that even when it's dead, I'm mocking it. Stonewall must fall, and the sooner it falls, the better for all of us. That's it. I'm going to go and enjoy my birthday. Ta-da, everyone. Ta-da.